Guys, hello guys, how are you? I have a very, 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 very emotional message for you guys, very sensitive messages. This may make some of you guys actually tear up and cry, but this is going to be a clarity for you that you need, that you may have been praying about all year, you may have been praying about for years. It's going to be clarity that's going to help you heal throughout this new year. Now, it's 222! It's 222 right now. 2022. We're entering 2022. It's God's my witness. It was 222 when I started the video. Heavenly Father knows it was 222 when I started the video. Okay. Oh my gosh, I didn't even know that. So this is how I know this message is so deep, because when I got this message, it related to something that God showed me last night in my dream. And in the kitchen, I got the revelation again in the kitchen. Something about the kitchen, okay? But let me tell you something. It's not going to be for everybody, so I don't want to get everybody's hopes up. But it's going to be very helpful. Okay, you're like, get to the point. Okay. So I want to tell you guys a story, okay? You guys remember in John, I think it's John in the book of John. Do you remember of a Pharisee? His name, if I pronounce his name wrong, don't get mad at me, y'all. I think it's Nicodemus, whatever his name is. I don't know how to pronounce it. Nicodemus. I'm just gonna say Nicodemus, okay? He was you know how the Pharisees were against Jesus, and he was the only Pharisee that believed Jesus. But then at the same time, he was put in a very difficult position, because before he even knew who Jesus was, he was a Pharisee. He was someone of the law. He may have been a high priest. You get what I'm saying? He already had a specific status that he had to keep up with. So before he even knew who Jesus was and met Jesus, he was already he already had a status, and he already had a specific group of people that he was following, group of people that he was associated with. So it was like when he believed Jesus, he was kind of put in a very difficult position, because now that he believes Jesus, it's kind of like he's kind of going against his peers, right? His fellow Pharisees. He's going against his belief, or he's going against specific laws, right? So he loved Jesus so much, but he put himself in a very difficult position believing Jesus, to the point where he kind of had to remove himself, not just from Jesus, but he had to remove himself from everybody, because it was kind of like he did not want to be in the middle anymore. It was very difficult for him to be in the middle. It's not that he didn't believe in Jesus, but it was kind of like he was put in the middle. So because he's put in a hard position, he had to kind of remove himself. Okay. I want to tell you guys something. Here's the clarity that God wanted me to tell you guys. It's so emotional. For some of you guys, you have been in a position to where you may have been abandoned. And here's the thing. We talked about this before, but when you're abandoned from people, and when you're battling the spirit of rejection, the spirit of abandonment, it's like everyone that comes in your life ends up abandoning you, or everyone that comes in your life ends up betraying you. So then you have to part ways from them, or God has to remove them from your life, or it's a situation where they just remove themselves from your life, right? And it may have been a consistent pattern to where now you feel alone, like you feel like you really have nobody, right? And there may have been situations for you guys where, because you suffered from this, let me give you guys examples God may have given, he gave me in the kitchen. Okay. So for some of you guys, you may have been in a situation where you were in a relationship with someone, and, that because you being in a relationship with this person, it caused issues between your family and this lover. So it was like you were in the middle, or this lover was in the middle. This lover was in the middle between your family and you. And because of that, the lover had to remove him or herself from you, because they did not want to continue being in the middle, or they felt like they were kind of putting you and your family against each other by being in the middle. So they had to part ways from you. But when they parted ways, they didn't say nothing to you. They never gave you closure or clarity. It's like they just parted ways from you, didn't say anything to you. And the problem is they didn't want to say that they were put in the middle. It could have been a situation with friends. You may have been friends with someone, and this friend may have been in the middle, and it's kind of like this friend had to pick sides between you and someone else. So instead of picking sides, this friend just removed themselves from you, because they didn't want to pick sides between you and this other person. So they may have been friends with someone else first. They met you, and then that friend that they were friends with first has a problem with you, lied on you, may have tarnished your name, may have done a lot of stuff to you, but because they were friends with the other friend first, they didn't want to they didn't want to pick, right? So instead, to make it easier, they just parted ways from both of you guys. Do you get what I'm saying? It's another situation where with family. So some of you guys, you may have been, here's how God specifically explained it to me with the family dynamic, okay? So you may have been abandoned from your family your whole life, and you may have been in a narcissistic home where you had a narcissistic parent, right? And the thing about this is you may not have had a mother figure or a father figure in your life. And even if they were in your life, they were not a parent, right? So because they were not a parent, there may have been a friend of the parents or another family member who is close to your mom or your dad, or a friend that was close to your mom and your dad that kind of took on that mother role for you, right? So it's kind of like they were like a mom to you or a dad to you, but they were friends with your mom and dad, or they were another family member who was a family member, like a cousin to your mom and dad. But because they took on that mother father role to you, and they showed you a lot of love that you never ever really got from your own parents, it caused problems between them and your parents, okay? Or it caused problems between the family. So in order for there not to be any more problems, it's like they had to part ways. Do you get what I'm saying? So here's what God was showing me. For some of you guys, you know, you may have been dealing with also narcissists who, when you deal with narcissists, or when you have people in your life that just completely abandon you, it's like sometimes with the spirit of rejection is a spirit that can also be sent. It's either a generational spirit or it can be sent. Sometimes a narcissistic parent or whatever family generation you're breaking, that spirit is meant to make people not love you. Okay, so what that spirit does, it's like every time you meet someone in your life that you're like, wow, this person really, really loves me, they part ways from you, right? And you're kind of confused because it's not like they parted ways as in you had a falling out with them, or a situation where they spoke to you and you guys had a falling out, or a situation where there was a bunch of drama and it fell out. No, it's like they parted ways as in you just never heard from them ever again. And you're kind of sad because you're like, wow, this person was like a mom to me. This person was like a dad to me. This person was like a sister to me. Or this person was like a friend to me. But you're going to notice that the connection that a lot of you guys are going to have with this message is there was always someone else in your life that did not like you, did not love you, that treated you badly, that also had a relationship with this specific person who showed you love, right? So what God was telling me is this particular person removed themselves from your life because they did not want to be in the middle. They did not want to be the reason for any falling out. They did not want to be in the middle. And then they were also put in a very hard position because they were friends with that person first, or their sisters with that family member, or that's their cousin, or you know what I'm saying? They didn't want to be in that position. So it's kind of like they had to pick and they didn't want to pick. So they removed themselves. In your eyes, it looked like this person abandoned you. In your eyes, it looked like this person didn't really love you because there was no falling out or nothing. They just removed themselves. And God is saying this person actually does love you. The thing about it is this person had no idea what was going on, okay? God was telling me to tell you to forgive this person. You know who this person is. Forgive this person, that they did not abandon you like everybody else abandoned you. They did not do you wrong like everybody else abandoned you. Their perspective of the situation is they did not want to be in the middle. They did not want to have to pick. So they had to remove themselves from everyone in general. And God is saying forgive them because they did not know what has been going on with you. For some of you guys, you were dealing with a narcissist who made you look bad in front of this person, and this person was put in a tough position because they had to believe either the narcissist or they had to believe you. So instead they just parted ways from everybody. But in your eyes, it looked like they took the narcissistic person's side, and they didn't. They just removed themselves from everybody, okay? For some of you guys, it was black magic involved. It was curses that were put on you from narcissistic people that made people not want to be around you. And they may have also felt something that like, okay, I can't be around you. I can't be around this person. So they removed themselves. They did not know the warfare you were going through. They did not know the magic you were fighting off. They also did not know that you were feeling like they abandoned you. So what God was showing me last night in a dream was he was showing me a microscope, and he was letting me know that this person still loves you, okay? The person that treated you like a mom, or treated you like a daughter, or treated you like a son, or was like a dad to you, or was like a sister to you, they love you, and they had no idea what you've been going through, but they've been watching you under a microscope, and God is saying to forgive them. They were put in a very difficult position, and it's not something they could have explained to you. So you may have been a child when this happened, when this person was there for you, and for some reason they just all of a sudden didn't talk to you anymore, and they were like a mom to you, or they're like a dad to you. It could have been like your child, and you feel like this person abandoned you. And this was the reason. This is how you'll know, because this person or these individuals, it's like no matter how long it's been since you've been away from them, they've never left your mind, they've never left your heart. It's like when you think back to people that abandoned you, it's kind of like you think back to how they treated you and it wasn't good. You think back to how they accused you, it wasn't good. You think back to everything that they've done to you and it wasn't good. But when you think back to these specific individuals, you never really had any falling outs with them. You never really had any negative experience with them. It was always love. So you grew up, or you may have you may have grew up, or years may have passed, or months may have passed, and you just never really understood what happened because you never really had any bad experiences with them. You never even had any bad feelings about them, like, like they're shady or anything. It was just like, whoa, like this person treated me like a daughter, or they treat me like a son, and then I just haven't heard from them anymore. The truth is, they were put in a very difficult position because the person that they were friends with, that is associated with you or tied to you, or the family member that they were friends with, that is your real parent, or your cousin, or whoever, they were put in a position where they had to pick, and they did not want to be in that position. This person loves you. It's so funny how God is connecting all the messages. Remember all the messages I told you guys? The message that I said they're going to find out, and I said about 2022, this connects with it too. So what God was showing me is this person's watching you like a microscope, and guess what? They've been watching you. They've been watching for a very long time. It's not that they didn't want to talk to you. They were put in a very difficult position. It's something it's hard for them to even explain. They don't want to say, hey, I had to pick between you and your dad, or you and your mom, or you and your best friend, or you and your friend, or you and your cousin. Like, they didn't want to. It's kind of like they met you through that person. So because they met you through that other person, they couldn't put themselves in that position to take sides. They had to remove themselves completely. And for some of you guys, it was a narcissist that came in between you guys. It was a narcissist that saw you were getting love from this mother figure, or love from this father figure, and they got jealous, and it's kind of like it caused a conflict between them two, right? Because they were showing you love, it caused conflict between them, because narcissists are very jealous. If they see that you're getting any type of love from anybody, right, they don't want you to get any type of love. If you're getting any type of love from anyone, they will try to sabotage that, right? So it's like kind of like your whole life, love has been sabotaged for you. Everyone that comes in your life that shows you a little bit of love end up leaving your life, or end up abandoning you. And even if there's no falling out, it's like, why does it always happen? For some of you guys, there was a spirit of rejection placed upon you. For some of you guys, there was magic that was done to you. For people to see you in a different light. When there's magic done to you, people will kind of see you in a different light. But I'm telling you, with these specific people, you'll know who I'm talking. You know what? You guys know who you are. You have always had them in your heart, and you never understood what happened, right? And you're like, you treating me like I was your child. Like, what happened? It's deeper than what you think. When narcissists play both sides, they play the victim on that side. So they will sit there and make it seem like something that it's not, and make the other person feel guilty for even loving you. Make the other person feel guilty for even wanting to help you, wanting to be there for you. And this person that really loves you couldn't take it. Okay, they couldn't take it. They couldn't take the drama. They had to remove themselves. And God says, forgive them. Forgive them. They really do love you, and they've been watching you for a long time under a microscope. And it's kind of like a microscope, and because he showed me a microscope, what I mean by that is they kept a very close eye on you safety wise. Like, they wanted to watch you grow up, they wanted to watch you in general, see if you're okay. It's like imagine how do I explain it? I know you guys understand what I'm saying, but I want to explain it for those who don't understand. So imagine let's just say I took on someone as my child, and they're not my child, but I treat them like they were my son, right? And the real mother in me got into conflictions because of that, or the real father in me got into conflictions because of that. So I had to remove myself from this child because I did not want to cause any conflictions. But as years went by, I was watching the child kind of grow up, but watching the child grow up kind of behind the scenes. Do you get it? Like, I'm watching them grow up behind the scenes, because it's not that I'm being a stalker, but I'm watching them grow up behind the scenes because I want to make sure they're okay, make sure they're safe, because I still have that love in my heart for them, right? But I can't have that relationship because I did not want to be in the middle of anything. What some of you guys don't understand is this person didn't know that you were under also spells. Remember, it was between you and this other person, like, as in, like, who they were gonna believe, but also it's kind of like this other party knew how to play victim, and this other party knew how to make themselves look innocent. For those of you guys who are dealing with magic, they didn't know this person was doing this type of stuff to you. Do you see what I'm saying? So they're finding everything out now because they're watching you and they're watching everything happen. But I'm telling you, God said forgive them and they love you. Is there anything else, God? Yeah, God said forgive them, they love you, they've been watching you from a distance, and now they understand what's happening. At the time they didn't understand, and at the time it was very hard for them, and it's something that's going to be hard for them to explain to you. So yes, God said forgive them. They did not abandon you. The reason why God wanted you guys to go to 2022 with this closure, for whoever this is for, is because so you can take out of your heart and out of your mind that the person that you're like, wow, this is the only person that loved me, this is the only person that cared for me, but even then they abandoned me too. So you can take out of your mind that they actually abandoned you, because they really didn't. They were put in a very hard position, okay? And they technically didn't really abandon you because they've been kind of, low-key checking up on you, and they love you. But yeah, that's the message. Love you guys. Bye.